You ever flip through like a gaming magazine in search of this one like elusive, hidden gem masterpiece game that like no one's ever heard of, but it's actually the greatest thing ever, and you feel like a modern day explorer just like uncovering artifacts? I have. I don't know what it is about like hidden gem games that I find so appealing, but it's such a fantasy for me. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna find this cool, amazing game that's like incredibly fun to play and like the best game ever, and yet for some reason people don't know about it. And so recently I got into the habit of just like flipping through random old gaming magazines like on Internet Archive, and it's so fun. First of all, it's just like really fun to see just like the unhinged ads, headlines, just like edgy gamer, this isn't your grandma's magazine, and they show like boobs and tits and ass. It's awesome. But yeah, like honestly, it's been great for finding potential video ideas. Like at this point, half of my video ideas are from like flipping through gaming magazines, and Burning Ranger is one of those games. Okay, this is how I circle it all back to the point of the video. I was flipping through this magazine and there was an ad for Burning Rangers, and just like the name and the visuals were like, whoa, neuron activation, I must play this. This is the game I've been looking for. This is the single greatest game that like not that many people know about. Spoiler alert, it's not. There's a reason why this game is dead and buried, in my opinion. I'm getting ahead of myself, okay? We'll get to the whole overview of the game soon. But first, you know it's that time, okay? You know what time it is? Like and subscribe. Please. That's it, just please. I don't have a speech. Please like and subscribe, please. So what is Burning Rangers actually all about? Well, you see, it's a game. Duh. First, a little background on the development of Burning Rangers. So development began shortly after the release of Christmas Nights in November 1996. And Sonic Team wanted to make a game where you rescue people instead of, killing them, because games are just so violent these days. And they thought of, firefighters. They save people, why don't we make a game about firefighters? But I guess that was too boring for them, so they did end up making it about firefighters in space. The game came out in 1998, and this game was released exactly 9 months before the Japanese release of Sega's next console. The fucking Dreamcast. And Burning Rangers was actually among the final 5 Saturn games to be released in America. So it's kind of like an odd thing to release, especially because this is a game by Sonic Team, right? And then needless to say, pretty much no one played it because it was just so late in the Sega Saturn's life. But yeah, TLDR, the game came out super late, no one played it. But what's the actual game like? Well, let's get into it. So right off the bat, the game starts with this incredible opening that I'm just gonna play because it's so fucking good.
Burning.
Sensor, February chamber loaded, transfer unit setup completed, good luck.
That was incredible. Holy shit. The music of this game is just phenomenal. The entire soundtrack is just banger after banger. Very much like a Sonic game. In my opinion, Sonic games are just like a fairly mediocre game attached to an incredible soundtrack. And honestly, Burning Rangers is very much a Sonic game in that regard. It's actually really a shame that the soundtrack is so good because the devs decided to not have that much music in the game. When you're playing it, it's mostly just like ambient noise and like in-universe sounds because they thought that would be more immersive and realistic, you know, when you're like firefighting, like, oh, you just hear fires and flames and shit like that. I guess that's true, but like also how realistic is it to be a space firefighter in space, right? Like, why did you have to deny me this incredible soundtrack? Anyways, when you start the game, you can choose between two playable characters, Sho Amabane and Tillis. Sho, Nick, and Tillis. Is it just me, or is that like a very weird Sonic Easter egg? In general, like this game really, really wants you to know that it was made by the people who brought you Sonic. Of course, I chose to play Tillis because I am a man of culture. For the most part, the gameplay is exactly the same, no matter which character you play. After you choose your protagonist, you go through the tutorial mission. You're like the new rookie member of the Burning Rangers, and the other Rangers, Chris Spartan, Reed Phoenix, and Big Landman. What a Death Stranding-like name. I love it. Are teaching you how to be a Burning Ranger throughout this tutorial mission. And the gameplay is pretty simple, honestly. Just go around and shoot at fires to put them out. The fires shoot out these crystals that you have to collect, and you use those crystals to rescue civilians. So you rescue civilians by teleporting them to safety. A teleport costs 5 crystals. And actually, if you use more than 5 crystals, you get like a bonus life because this game is on a life system. In general, this game is a very arcadey type of game. There's actually 108 unique survivors you can rescue. And once you rescue them, they can send you mail, which you can access in the main menu. This sounds cooler than it actually is. Honestly, 90% of the mail is a variation of, oh, thank you, Burning Rangers, you saved my life, bye. But fun fact, one of the survivors is a guest character, Ami Shibata, and she's a manga artist known for Jibaku-kun and Papuwa. Not only does she have a special model and like mails she can send, she also has a unique cutscene that plays when you rescue her.
Hey, are you alright? I'm so sleepy. Just leave me alone. Are you sure? I don't know. Coordinates set.
Activating the system. Coordinates. No, I'm losing her.
I'm free! I'm free!
She escaped into cyberspace.
Honestly, very odd. You can double jump and like glide because you have a jetpack. There's also this mechanic where you have to avoid an incoming explosion. Right before an explosion, you'll hear this audio cue, and then you have to press down on the D-pad to do like a backflip out of the way. But the problem is there's no invincibility frames in the backflip, and you'll backflip into another fire because it's just like a massive arc jump backwards. For the most part, it's better. Like if you hear an explosion, just don't move actually, because it'll explode in front of you. The safest way is to not use this mechanic. Oh, and because this is a Sonic game made by the Sonic team, in case you weren't aware, the health system is exactly the same as the one in Sonic games. If you get hit once, all of the crystals you had on hand explode out of you, and that sucks. I don't really like that mechanic in Sonic, but at least rings aren't a currency, right? They're just your health bar. But here, all of your money essentially explodes out of you. And you can never collect all of them. You can collect most of them, but a lot of them just disappear because they evaporate very quickly after they explode out of you. This one time I had almost 100 shards on hand, and I got hit once, and I don't think I collected even 50 back. I mean, realistically, you never need that many shards anyways, but it's just like really annoying. I don't like it. I don't think it fits. And I think the only reason they have this health system was to be another reminder like, hey, this is a Sonic game. You should should buy it. Just make a Sonic game at that point. Yeah, that's pretty much the gameplay. It sounds pretty simple, but sadly the movement is very slippery and the camera is awful. It's really bad. You do get used to it. There is one point late in the game where, oh my god, it's just nightmarish. It's horrible. We'll get to that. Yeah, most of the challenge comes from fighting the controls than, you know, fighting the actual game. But the tutorial itself is actually very hand-holdy. It really treats you like this is the first time you've ever held a controller in your hands. And I guess that's fair because this is, you know, 1998. So 3D platformers were still a novelty. But for clearing such a hand-holdy tutorial, I still felt so overwhelmed the moment I started the actual first mission. Because like, what the fuck are these graphs? Like, this wasn't the tutorial. What is this limit thing? What is this green-red bar thing? It's never mentioned in the actual game, and I'm just supposed to know what it is. It's very bizarre. The only way I finally understood it is by reading a guide. So the limit percentage thing is how much fire there is in a level right now. So you lower that percentage by, you know, putting out fires. And then this green-red thing, when the green bar goes down, there will be fire explosions. And that just happens if you stay too long in an area. But like, that's never mentioned in the tutorial, and I would say that that's pretty critical information because, not that I care, but the missions, you get like a score at the end, you know, like an SA whatever score. The limit and the green bar, they are taken into account for the score. So I guess if you cared about that, you'd want to know what they mean, right? But it's just never explained. Oh yeah, there's another gameplay mechanic that's actually really, really cool. And I'm surprised by how well it works and how much I like it. So there's no map in this game. Instead, Chris Parton is your navigator. And it's all audio based. Like, you can press a button at any point to just ask her where to go next. And she tells like, oh, you're on your left, the next door. Aside from a few parts where she's entirely unhelpful, most of the time she does actually help you. Like, I used that button a lot. I was calling up my girl Chris constantly. It was very, very useful and very fun. Like, I actually felt like an agent out on the field, you know, asking for help for my guy in the chair, right? But because of the whole voice navigation thing, it's one of the rare games at the time that had like full English voiceover. In the cutscenes, there were just voices. During the game, not only does Chris talk to you, you can hear other characters like talk because they're on different sectors of the map. They're also rescuing civilians. And it's very cool, but mostly funny because the voice acting is really, really rough. Like, woo. Okay, now that I fairly clumsily covered the gameplay, let's get into the story. There's 4 missions. After you finish a tutorial, all the burning rangers get like a signal, like, oh shit, it's go time, there's an actual fire, and you go to this space power plant that's on fire, and you know, you go put out fires and save civilians. At the end, you fight a cool plant boss fight, and you might ask yourself, why does a firefighting game have boss fights? To that, Sonic Team says, shut up. Boss fights are cool, okay, fuck off. But actually, I mean, I do like boss fights in general, so I'm happy with this. It is odd, but honestly, just shooting at fires would be way too boring. And it is. After this mission, a cool little anime cutscene plays.
The energy plant control unit is back to normal, and the people we rescued are checking out fine at the medical center. We are returning back to base.
Good job.
Nice work, guys.
Yeah!
The anime cutscenes are easily the best part of this game. They're very well animated. They're actually animated by the people that made Akira. So it fucking rules. It's just awesome. It's my favorite part of this game, for sure. For the second mission, you have to save an ocean park in New Zealand from a fire. And that's pretty ironic, you know, a water park being on fire. Most of this is like underwater and I just don't understand. How are you putting out fires here? How are there even fires to begin with? After bumbling around a million corridors, Tillis finds a dolphin. And here we find out that Tillis, for whatever reason, can speak to dolphins. And the dolphin leads us to the cause of the fires. A giant robot piranha-like fish, and that's the boss fight of this mission. It's pretty fun. It's very video gamey. We beat the fish, we saved the water park. End of mission. Epic.
It turned out that the transmitter in the lab was functional at the time it was destroyed. A signal was sent to the quadrant RK-404 on the 3rd satellite orbit. An old space colony is being disassembled in that sector. Investigate the area and find the other transmitter. Find out who the signal was sent for.
Understood. We're already on our way. Show, hurry it up.
Okay, I got it.
Reed, engage the engine.
Okay, I got it.
Radar is clear. All systems are green.
Navigation set. All systems go.
Okay, I got it.
Burning chip, prepare for launch.
Mission 3 is once again just bumbling around corridors and putting out fires, but this time on a space station. And about halfway through this mission, you find a kid, but you can't just transport him to safety because the connection with Chris is getting spotty, and then after a bit it just completely cuts out. Now the navigation mechanic is more or less completely gone for the rest of the game. It was there for 2 missions, very nice. But yeah, instead of just transporting the kid, you have to carry him to an escape pod, and this segment is thankfully it's very short, but it's also very shitty because, like, I guess while you're carrying him, you can't double jump, and you have to carry him across this very narrow beam path. And if you fall off it, you don't die, but you can't jump back up to that point anymore. So if you fall down, you just have to intentionally go into a fire, so you die and try again, which really sucks. But again, it was literally just like I think 2 hallways. And yeah, you put him in an escape pod, and oh no, there's no room for you. So you say goodbye to the kid, and you're like, I guess I'll fight a boss for no reason. And then when all hope is lost, huzzah! A cutscene plays.
Chris, come in. Hey, Big, do you copy me? Run for your life, huh?
What is that? Where did it come from?
We've got trouble. It's absorbing the colony.
It's no good. The transporter's malfunctioning.
Tillis, listen, you've got to get out of there. Tillis, or you'll be trapped inside.
Tillis, come in. Tillis? Tillis!
It's no use. We're losing her signal.
And now it's time for the final mission. And I actually really like how Mission 3 flows into Mission 4. And we start playing Mission 4 like after the space station merged with the weird space object. But man, this area sucks. It's just horrible platforming section to horrible platforming section. Like there's ice platforming, there's underwater platforming, a bajillion things exploding at you platforming, and then worst of all, there's this super tall climb, but it's all just very narrow platforms. You know, like usually 3D games, 3D platforming games, when you jump, you cast a shadow, or the camera like pans down so you can see where you're landing. Not in this game. It's just kind of blind faith every time you do a jump. And if you miss a fall, you fall all the way down. You don't even die. You just have to start climbing from the bottom again. It was very stressful and very not fun. Throughout this whole section, you do kind of have a navigator, but it's this mysterious girl leading you. She's not as good a navigator as Chris is, because she just says, turn left, and that's pretty much it. After finally climbing that hellish platforming tower section, there's a boss fight against a crystal. And then once we beat that, a cool cutscene plays yet again.
Who are you?
I am Elia Klein. I'm in the center of the ship.
What's this? Am I really in a spaceship?
At the age of 16, I was infected by an incurable disease. My father, a scientist, wanted to save me. So he created a spaceship equipped with a special hypersleep unit for me and programmed the ship to orbit around Earth. In order to protect me, my father cloned his consciousness into the ship's main computer memory banks. However, after a long period of time, the computer started to adapt. Its programmed logic started to advance very quickly. It absorbed any and all the materials floating in space and created a defensive shield. Recently, a signal was sent to the ship. A cure was discovered on Earth that would help me get well again. This has caused the main computer to carry out its final instructions to bring me back to Earth. But that would mean disaster, because if the ship reaches Earth, all of it would be destroyed. From here, I can do nothing but wait. The ship's defense is almost invincible to any attack from the outside. However, the ship is very vulnerable from the inside. Please, I beg you to destroy this monster.
That's That's pretty much also the story of Sonic Adventure 2. You know, Maria with her fucking space aids and Ilya with her uncurable space disease. Curious. Anyways, very conveniently, the rest of the Burning Rangers somehow, miraculously, also heard that transmission, and they're like fully mobilized, like, we gotta save this kid, we gotta save Maria, Ilya, from space aids. Then this next section is so hype. It's really janky, but it's cool enough for me not to give a shit. It's a section where you control the Burning Ranger ship to like navigate throughout this crazy ship while the Burning Rangers theme plays, and it's so sick. It's awesome. And then after that section, you follow Big Landman to where Ilya is located, and then together with all the other field rangers, you transport her to safety. And then they're like, we got this, Tillis. Leave this to us. You go on ahead. And she's like, I'm gonna go ahead. And then the moment you go into the next room, Chris just tells you like, okay, the Rangers are back at the ship. So they just left Tillis to deal with the ship AI final boss fight on her own. Is this really over the top, insane fucking AI space god boss fight? And they're like, have fun, enjoy, you got this. Ruthless. But yeah, that's the final boss fight, and honestly, it's pretty fun. It's pretty challenging, but like, I like the vibes. I enjoyed it. And then once you defeat the boss fight, one final cutscene plays.
It looks like the shield is gone. Reed, prepare for transport now.
Shit, I can't. There's a huge magnetic storm and I can't synchronize the coordinates.
How can this be?
Chris, take a look at the monitor.
Prepare to abort.
But what?
Reed, there's nothing we can do. Tillis!
Tillis,
I'm back home.
you did a remarkable job by yourself. You did really well.
You made it back.
Okay, I got it.
Welcome back.
I'm home!
And that's it. That's the game. And throughout the credits, we get to see these like shots of what the Rangers are up to. And seeing these just makes me wish this was an anime. Ilya joined the Rangers. They hang out with the survivors. Like Shoi's with that one kid we rescued. The cool cat, Lead, has a cat. It's adorable, you know, it's just like, oh man, I want to see more of these characters. It really is a crazy short game, like damn. And technically there is more to this game because when you beat the game for the first time, you unlock randomized mode, where you play through the entire game again, but all of the corridors and like hallways are completely randomized. I don't know about you, but to me, that sounds like torture. Those are my least favorite parts of the game, just going through those hallways. And now to just do it again, but in a randomized, non-designed way, no, thank you. I've seen some people say online like, oh, it is a short game, but there's tons of replayability. You can try and collect all the survivors and like read all of their mails. There's randomized mode with like 60,000 different possible ways. Yeah, okay, but it's all just the same shit. I don't know, it's not something I am interested in. So, sorry. Everything but the actual game in this game rules, which is such a shame. Like, part of me just wishes they made this into an anime. It felt like they wanted to make an anime. I guess, you know, an idea of a playable anime is pretty cool, but it probably would have done better as an anime. And yeah, that's Burning Rangers. Like, it took me, I don't know, 2 hours to beat the whole game. At the beginning, I couldn't wait for the game to be over because the first half, you know, mission 1 and 2 were like very boring in my opinion. But then mission 3 and 4 were really cool, even though they were super janky. But like just the story actually drew me in, and it was this connected world. It didn't feel like just like, ah, shit fucking exploded, go put out the fire, right? It was like, oh my god, shit is happening. Go do this, go do that. Fulfill your destiny. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fulfill my destiny. and then roll credits, you know. Sadly, Burning Rangers was not the hidden gem I was looking for, but I still have hope. I mean, if this game does look interesting to you, I guess check it out, but meh. I'm sorry to all the 12 fans of Burning Rangers. I'm just nonplussed by it. Like, I'd give it a meh out of 10, honestly. Why are you making this video, you could say, but because I gotta fill my quota. Because I gotta feed the algorithm, okay? Sorry. Wow. That was very sad. Yeah. Bye! Burning Rangers. That's not even the melody, dude. That's nothing. Anyways. Bye-bye.